So also from the AM Solutions family, a warm welcome to all of you. I prepared some Italian words. Hopefully it's quite good to understand. Gentili signore e signori, sono molto felice di essere qui oggi come ospite e relatore a questo evento speciale. Innanzitutto vorrei ringraziare di cuore gli organizzatori, l'azienda Treddy e Rimas per l'invito. È un grande onore per me essere presente. Un ringraziamento particolare va alla famiglia Mucci che è alla guida di questa tua azienda. La vostra visione e il vostro impegno sono notevoli ed è davvero ispirante vedere casa evento raggiunto. Sono entusiasta di poter partecipare a uno scambio stimolante e produttivo con tutti voi. Grazie mille. So now I will switch to English, what is my preferred language besides German. Hopefully it was well to understand. So let's have a look to the post-processing side of the 3D printing business. The post-processing is the enabler of the 3D printing to have really end-usable parts. First of all, let me shortly introduce myself. My name is Tobias Schamberger. I'm located in the German headquarters of the Rössler Group and AM Solutions. I'm sales manager globally for AM Solutions. I started in 2007 in the Rössler Group, and since 2020 I'm responsible for the sales team of AM Solution. Together with me I have my team from Concorrezzo, Italy, Riccardo and Francesca, and they will also be able to give you answers across your questions on the post-processing side. First of all, here's the content table chart. We have a small look to our company. Then we will have the process chain, really from rough to refined smart processes for superior super finish, to give you a look behind the scene what our shot blasting media can enable us in the parts quality. And afterwards I will finish to introduce to you our dedicated training in post-processing. I will start with a short video. So what you saw on the video are the three pillars of the Rössler Group. What is the mass finishing, shot blasting, and the AM Solutions. What you can see here on the slides is our headquarters in Germany, one in Untermerzbach, one in Bad Staffelstein. Both are in the north of Bavaria, the region called Franconia. In these facilities, we really build up our machines from a steel plate to the finished machine, including all the engineering, software engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, manufacturing of welding, and so on, including the electrical cabinet. We have also media production and mass finishing there. And of course, we have the Rössler Academy, the AM Solutions, and chemical lab, and so on. I would like also to introduce to you our headquarters in Italy. What is in Concorrezzo is close to Monza. Also with an old sales team and a customer experience center for our customers. Also production side, service and plastic media production as well is located there. And we are a global player. That means we can really service your machines and your processes across the world with our manufacturing locations, for example, in Germany, France, Italy, and the US, but several additionally Rössler locations for sales and services, and also 150 representatives worldwide. Some facts and figures of the Rössler Group. We are close to 1,600 employees. We have more than 80 years experience in the surface finishing. And we, for example, produce more than 50,000 different processes media for mass finishing. Here, a short idea of the organization of AM Solutions. So AM Solution was founded in 2018 as a brand of the Rösler Group. Why? Because we figured out a lot of requests from these crazy 3D printing world, and we need to found a small team really which we give the space and also which we empower to act in this environment of 3D printing. So that is why we have a team of developers, a team of engineers, and of course a global sales team to have really the right solutions for our customers. But why AM Solutions? So when we started in 2018, we also believed in miracles. That means we thought, okay, you have a 3D file, push the button on print like on a desktop printer and you receive the finished part. But the reality was different. And so that is why alongside about that, we also seen in the Wohlers report of 2019 that a quarter of the overall costs per piece are dedicated to post-processing. Well, meanwhile, I think it's a third of the costs. And what we found in the industry was more or less manual-driven processes. Why is here something marked? Because you see the distance between the nozzle and the part is quite too close. That means you will burn the polyamide surface. And then, of course, you will have a destroyed part. Our philosophy, our vision is to have an automatic solution. Could be with a robot, but could be also smart engineered machines. We have, alongside all necessary industrial printing solutions, post-processing solutions available. We have mainly 4 different types. So we have the M line for mass finishing, we have the S line for shot blasting, the C line for chemical, and the D line for the unpacking. To give you a brief overview of the M line, here are just some examples of our machines. But more interesting is more or less the parts we can work on. So that means for SLM parts, for example, which are usually quite rough. So RA value starts at 9, goes up to 14, 15, even more. We can reduce the roughness with mass finishing down to an RA value less than 0 point something, for example, for medical implants. But what's also super interesting is that we are able to treat also inner channels. This is a development mainly made in Italy by our colleagues in Congorezzo. We are also able in mass finishing to treat SLA parts, so like the world first USB stethoscope you can see here is 3D printed. It's also one of our customers. We make a pre-grinding and a polishing. And also we have the part with us in the exhibition outside. So that means we can make polyjet very clear parts really glass clear. Short overview about the S line. Feel free to ask us. Treddy is one of our lovely partners, and having the S2 and the S1. I give you only one example for shot blasting in wet sanding, so it means wet blasting, because for metal parts it's also super interesting. You can have an abrasive wet blasting process, what is step 1, and on that you can also add an additional second polishing step. Some examples about our C line. And here are some of our really strong development partners which empowers us and helps us to have the best in-class post-processing equipment on the market. And also one of our European-based partners we are working with. Now let's come to the core, the smart processes for superior finish. I pick an example from the usual process chain, and we will shape today the process chain in the way we do it with our 2-in-1 approach. And I will give you some examples why your blasting media is so important to shape your surface. So for example, from rough, of course, you know MJF parts. After unpacking, you have the potato state. Come to a clean part, and often then gets colored by dyeing, and you would like to have a dyed part. So now you are the user, you think, okay, let's go on. What are my post-processing steps? First of all, we started post-processing in our philosophy when it comes by end of the printing. That means you have the full cake with parts and loose powder. So first step will be the unpacking, of course. Unpacking often is a manual-driven process. So you dig the parts out of the powder cake. So that is why, for example, AM Solution and HP together made a joint development in the automatic unpacking station, which is available at HP. Then, of course, you will have the raw parts, the potato stage. On the potato stage, I mean, finally, you would like to receive a dyed part, so you have a cleaning process usually, in usual processes, often with a glass bead. Then you have the clean parts, of course, and afterwards you do the dyeing. Everything is working time, process media, energy, water, for example, as well for the dyeing, and then you have the dyed parts. In this process, you don't have the final appearance of a dyed part because it's not semi-glossy when you dye it directly after the glass bead finishing. So that means you need to add additional-wise a shot peening process on the already dyed parts to receive a more semi-glossy surface. Once again, working time, energy consumption, and process media. And then finally, you received your finished part. What was the expectation, not of the user, it was the expectation of the customer, of course. So quite a long process chain with a lot of steps, and the usual step is also to have, for some parts, cleaning with a glass bead, a shot peening with a polymer blasting media, then go to dyeing, and for some parts you have the post-shot peening after the dyeing, for example, luxury stuff or like glasses, for example, such stuff usually needs to be then blasted after the dyeing process. So this is the idea how a part looks like when you blast it with glass bead. This part here is the brain gear from the SKZ. SKZ is a German plastic research institute, and they use our machine, but they helped us as well. So this one was not blasted in our machine, was blasted in a common shot blasting machine by hand with glass beads. And the picture is a CD scan, and you can really see here all these small sparks are broken glass, what is in your surface. That means after such a process, of course, you will have a super rough surface and you will have a non-homogeneous surface due to the fact that it's hand blasted, and you have also this broken glass inside. Let's have a look to the surface with a zoom of 200 times when we blast an MJF part made out of PA12, of course, blasted in the S1 from us. You can see on the surface that the surface is more homogeneous than blasting by hand. And of course, you have still a typical roughness of the glass bead. You can see it here. The RA value is approximately 4.5, 5 micron, depends. But there is still broken glass in the surface. I mean, our media circuit is different, so we reduce it a lot to have not so much broken media inside of your blasting media circuit, but it's still possible. What we use when customers would like to have a rough surface, because a rough surface sometimes also is necessary. For example, if you go with such a part to a mass finishing, it makes sense to keep it rough, because then the grinding is even better than on a shot peen part. And of course, we use, instead of a glass bead, usually our RBD natural media. What is a polyamide media? The main benefits are really that the surface is super clean, super homogeneous, and especially you have no material inclusion. Because of course, then broken glass with a skin contact can create some skin irritation. And And now let's have a look to the same part of the SKZ, what was printed also on the same EOS printer, also PA12, and this was processed then in our S1 with our 2-in-1 approach, what is our polybead process with our RPP media. And you can easily see here on the pictures behind me that this is the one with the glass bead. You can see everywhere the glass, non-homogeneous surface. And here really you can see a super smooth surface, well prepared, and you have no broken media inside it. So, and also these two pictures with the CT scan, have a closer look on the MJF part. That means also if you have a look here, the roughness value is totally different compared to glass, for example. So that means we are speaking about RA values about 2 micron. That means usually also when you not dye the parts, you have a totally different quality of your surface instead of using the glass bead. One quite brand new process we have, we call it the metallic smooth. We have also a part with us. You can have a look on the outside. This is a process where we receive a super smooth and clean surface, and the main thing is the surface, then the part themselves will receive a metallic appearance. So it means the part looks more metallic. But now let's shorten the process chain, because what happens if we can combine the cleaning and the shot peening in front of the dyeing. And we were able, I already spoiled that with our 2-in-1 approach. And this finally ends up that our customers, while using one machine with one process instead of 2 machines and 2 processes, saving, of course, money and as well 7 tons of CO2 per year. And of course, sometimes, I already told you that, for luxury parts, maybe it's necessary additional wise to shot peen the parts after the dyeing. So a lot of informations. Just to give you a brief overview, I mean, inside is our machine and the main targets. That means cleaning, surface finishing, homogenization of the surface. And on the outside, there are a lot of materials which are still or already available in polymer powder bed, from PA12, of course, PEEK, TBU, PP, PA11, and so on. So, and on the outside, we also need to choose the right media for the right material to receive the right quality. You will never treat a TBU part usually with a glass bead, for example. You need more impact on the surface. So that means really your process, also when the shot blasting process seems so easy, but you have also the possibility of several medias. Finally, let me introduce to you our training from the Rösler Academy. So because of the high requests from different customers with different challenges, we call it challenges, not problems, we decide to have an academy training with a certified trainer. This is one of my colleagues, it's Julian Ponsel, and you can learn within 2 days, more or less in a workshop, what means state-of-the-art post-processing, and really on the training we are working also on your problems. I think Julian would be quite happy to have one training in Italy, so maybe we can find a group of local people here. If you're interested, please contact Ricardo and the team from Italy. So, and then one picture of our CEC, where usually the training is happening, and where our customers really can have a look to the process. That means you can bring your parts, you will finish the parts inside of our facility, and you see, okay, our capabilities overall. As I said, 7 tons CO2 in only one process. We have more 2-in-1 approach available at AM Solutions because of one planet, one focus. Environmental responsibility is a care of all of us. So I'm finally ended up. Grazie mille again, and I'm open for your questions.